Why are you clapping?
I'm excited, like I'm clapping for all of us. I've been telling you this is my personality. Like
That's
I'm
good.
a whole
I don't
cheerleader.
ask it in a sort of like it's just curiosity. So Iggy, you want to sit down? What's the Red Bull, bro?
I just want to tell you that we can keep the notebooks.
Yeah, you can take it.
Did you think it's just for like...
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so I have 3 questions prepared, and one of the questions was something that you said we should keep for another episode. However, I think we should ask it now.
Kinda nervous now.
No?
Okay.
Do you believe in the concept of the one?
Dun, dun, dun.
Stop the cap.
No.
You don't? Okay, go.
Ah,
Go for
maybe. I don't know. I guess like
What idea do you subscribe to then?
What?
What idea around that do you subscribe to?
I guess I'm just looking for someone that fits well with me. I don't believe that there is someone as the one. I mean, the one could be halfway around the world. You never know.
Yeah.
But eventually you would settle down and find someone that you are good with. You
Like
know.
a death buddy.
What?
Death buddy.
Yeah, like a death buddy. Like when you say eventually, I picture like toward the end of your
Like in the Notebook when they
Like,
lay
oh, yeah,
down
yeah.
and they
So
sleep.
do you think the
You talking about that?
life.
She's talking about that. Oh my god.
Huh?
Do you think that this eventually then is someone, or does it mean
That you've settled.
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer
No,
that.
I think you were clear about it. Like you said, you don't believe that there's the so-called one.
I mean, I guess for some people they're perfect match, but for others it's no.
Mm.
It's different.
Yeah.
Evzir, what about you?
It's a loaded question, I must be honest. Like, I think that you go through different periods of your life, and you might find someone that you connect with for a year or 2 years, and you grow and you change. And I think that maybe you then find another person that you connect with, and it might be for 6 months, but that connection or that love, whatever you want to call it, like that might feel more intense than the last year or 2 that you spent with like the previous person. I think the only thing that comes in the way or changes that dynamic is when you make a commitment. So I think that commitment has a lot to do with it. So if you're going to decide like, okay, this is my person and I'm going to marry this woman, and you have all the so-called ducks in a row with her, and you guys get along well, you have chemistry, you're compatible, you have kids together.
And real ducks in a row.
Real ducks in a row. And you commit to her and to him every day, all the time. But if you are, let's say, a bachelor or bachelorette, or whatever you want to call it, and you're kind of still figuring things out,
A free agent.
you get free agent, yes? You get soulmates in different shapes and forms. Sometimes they can be friends. Sometimes they can be someone that comes into your life and just radically changes your perception on everything, but it's completely platonic. I feel like that's the soulmate buzz, yes.
So then are you saying that the idea of a soulmate and the one is the same for you?
I would say so. I would say that it wears different hats. You know what I mean? Like you get like...
I actually thought it was the same thing.
I would say, like I'm saying, it wears different hats. Like some people call it twin flame. Some people call it the one. Someone calls it soulmate, my ride or die. Like it's just how you feel in that moment with that person. Maybe it's to do with the amount of time you've spent together. Maybe it's to do with the things that you've gone through together. Sometimes it's literally just this magnetic thing where you're like, I cannot stay away from this person. Like, wow,
So
I
guess
adore them.
I guess your idea then of the one would be it's whoever you committing yourself to
At that
at
moment.
that point in
Yeah.
time. And you said you don't
Subscribe
believe that
to.
it's
Yeah.
a thing.
We wanted to flip the question around quick. So, like,
Yeah.
do you guys? Do you?
You go first.
Let's say this. I used to believe that it was a thing,
Yeah.
and then as the years went by, in my late 20s, that's when I started to no longer believe in it.
Do you think that is due to growing up, or is it due to cynicism, or is it the same thing?
I guess it's due to the experiences that I've had. Because the thing is, if you, for example now, if I believe in the one, and I think this person now is the one,
Yeah.
and now I'm trying to now pursue, but this person actually doesn't feel the same way about me.
Yeah.
You
Then
can
they
be
can't be the one.
disappointed, so then they can't be the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my main reason for not believing in it.
Yeah.
I don't
think
believe that's the
brilliant.
thing, and I think it's unhealthy to think that there is such a concept. But I know you mentioned there are some people that have that relationship that they just met the person that they are meant to be with. Maybe it was their high school sweetheart, and eventually they got married,
Yeah.
and their marriage lasted.
But I think that's a decision, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think like you fell in love with this person, and you are maybe just the kind of person that's like, my life is going this way,
Yes.
and their life is also
Tunnel
going this way.
But then that means they did, because they both had the same
So
level
then
of thinking when it
They
came to
can
relationships.
then refer to each other as like, this is my person and this is my soulmate or whatever. And I don't know, make sure that Allah gave them that person
Yes.
like that. But for other people,
Majority.
of people, you get different or varying degrees of connection
Yeah.
with everyone. And as you get older, I think that you start, obviously, like you've had that whole concept of like you loving yourself,
Yeah.
and so you find other people that also love themselves, and that you guys are able to take a journey together. Sometimes it's romantic, sometimes it's not, sometimes it lasts longer than others. I think the only part that sucks ass is when it comes to an end. So
Yeah.
taking that approach in life in general means that you have to also accept that like everything has a lifespan. Everything has like a lifespan.
Like a start and end.
Correct. They come in, you serve a purpose of my growth, of my whatever I needed or whatever you needed.
Yeah.
Because you always find
They play
lessons.
that role in your life
Yeah.
either way.
You find lessons afterward, especially, and then you carry on.
Makes sense.
You got
What do
one.
you think? What's your
I think the one is Jet Li, like that movie. But for me, it's a lot, because the idea of the one. So I'm gonna go into story time now.
Go with it.
Come along with this journey. So, when I was younger, I grew up in a very. I grew up with the idea of romanticism. So I grew up with the idea of how a little girl would create this Prince Charming. I created my
That version for yourself.
wife,
Yeah.
but not my princess. I created what a wife I think I would want to marry. And that was based on my dad, because
Okay.
he was a romantic.
Aw.
The way he treated my mom,
Yeah.
the things that she said, even after his death,
Good.
that influenced the way I wanted to be, but also this perception that I started painting mentally.
Because you just assume if I'm gonna be this way, she's gonna
Yes,
then be that way
Yes.
toward me.
it wasn't as black and white as a Prince Charming or who would my princess actually be? Anyway,
No, but there's
so-
really some like strong history behind
Yeah.
the way you
and
perceive it to be.
And like through the years, being in a few different relationships before I got married, like I know and I remember how I was. I used to write love letters. I was penning it, do it in different colors. I can remember some of those letters, even though there's things later in my life that I can't actually remember because of things that happened or trauma
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But those memories, I can remember the gel pens I bought, the different colors I would
how
write,
cute.
how the kind of messages,
Yeah.
the music I was thinking about that I was influenced by in relation to thinking about the one kind of idea. And my understanding started changing the more I did introspection. So after 20, I did a lot of I did a lot of introspection because I had a very bad temper.
Yeah.
So I wanted to change that. But in order to change that, I needed to understand myself. Part of the understanding myself about my temper was understanding my emotions and understanding what I understood as this idea of love, because I was associating love to the one. The one was going to give me love.
Yeah.
The one was going to make me feel safe, you know? So, speaking of and understanding this idea of love, it's also what is love? What does love mean to me?
Yeah.
What does love mean to someone else?
Yeah.
If I enter a relationship, do we have the same idea of love? Is that the one going to have the same idea of what I'm expecting? And then this idea of expectations came about. So automatically this idea of the one became so many other things.
It's a domino effect, yeah.
You know, it became so many other mental and emotional dependencies. And then as I grew older and I got married and things and so on, the idea of the one became fragmented.
Yeah.
It became an idea of I was romanticizing something that has been largely created for me in my experience personally, because I can't speak about anyone else.
Yeah.
But I believe that this is a general thing. It's largely been influenced by the world, media, Hollywood.
Yes, definitely.
You know, books, videos,
Yeah.
music.
And so you created a whole persona
I created
on
something
that and committed not
Yes.
just to your wife but to that persona.
Yes.
And ultimately, no, like, and I don't judge you for this because I did the same thing with my marriage, but you are the architect of your own disappointment at the end of the day, because you don't realize how much you're putting on that other person
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how unfair it is
Yeah, for
afterward
Yeah.
to create such a heavy expectation and put it on someone. They weren't there when you were 15, watching that movie, 17.
Exactly.
And writing those love letters. And I'm still, to this day, a love letter person. And so I try and show, like, my affection in every way possible. And so letting go of a hopeless romantic
Yeah.
side of me, it's impossible.
Yeah.
And so the only thing you can let go of is the expectation
Yeah.
of, like, I'm going to do this because this is how I want to show love. I don't necessarily expect it back. However, you do need to see, like, the energy coming back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't
for
necessarily
sure,
have
for
to be
sure.
like, write me a love letter back.
Yeah.
But it must be, like, the same level
Yeah.
Of energy.
for
yeah.
me to
Reciprocating.
continue.
Like,
You
it
know,
doesn't have to be through a letter. It needs to be through something that you can
Some action.
say, okay, no, he also cares.
He's
the
also
same
putting
level.
in effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, an action, a gesture, something.
Yeah.
Like, even coming back to the topic and that whole idea of how I was thinking, the dating nowadays is not romantic for me. It's
Yeah.
literal.
Yeah.
It is a case of I am not. Before I was thinking, because this is my early adolescence to early teens, where I was thinking, I'm gonna be a Prince Charming, I'm gonna buy you whatever, I'm gonna do whatever, I'm gonna be everything.
Yeah.
I was all
I'm
those
prepared.
boys to men.
That,
You know, I was boys to men. I was all of those things, you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then now it's a case of I don't want to share my chips.
Don't touch my chips. Don't eat out of my plate.
I don't want to share my chips because it's a case of I'm not looking for the one. I am.
Yeah.
I'm actually not.
Yeah.
When I am, I guess, in that mental state of looking, it's a case of how can we vibe, man? How can we be? How do we understand
Yeah.
this idea of compatibility that we spoke about
Yeah.
earlier?
I was gonna ask you now. Do you mind if I share that, just that part of that clip, that voice clip?
Yeah.
Don't eat out of my plate.
So
The funniest thing.
So just
But-
to give some context around that.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
how much? So when I was young, I was thinking I want to do this. I want to. It's horse and carts. It's flowers.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even like it. I still remember one of my first girlfriend. I asked my dad for money because it was Valentine's Day. I wanted to buy her flowers and a chain.
Cute one.
And my mommy was like, "But he's not even buying something for me."
Yeah,
And I was, and now I'm like, no, it's not that I don't love you. I don't want to show affection. It's that I don't want to create that expectation that I am going to want to do and be and create this idea of I am all of this and only become the master of my own destruction, like you said, because you're setting yourself up. You're delivering on a level that you shouldn't.
Yeah,
because
you need to
it's
start
not
like
normal.
It's not like that you need to start off this side and like
Yeah.
work your way up. It's more just like do something in the beginning that is sustainable,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that you can sustain, so that this person can be like, she's consistent, reliable, he is consistent, he is reliable, because you didn't do this like grand thing in the beginning that you cannot possibly do every week or every month or whatever.
So in essence, unicorns do not exist.
Oh wow.
Just putting it out there. But
Can I
Next
say one
question.
last thing before you jump in the next question?
Yeah.
I think it's a topic that we can definitely speak about more, guys.
just put you on blast there. But anyway, so we can either go to the last question before we have a treat for you guys. Now we're gonna end this off. We got some feedback from each of your socials.
From the Instagrams.
From the Instagrams, yeah. Do you want to hear the last question, or shall we jump straight into the?
I'm curious about the last question. I think we
Okay.
can do the last question.
I don't know why. I feel like the one kind of ended it off nicely.
Nicely?
Yeah.
Okay, then we can go to the
But
Instagram.
the question, I'll just give it to you anyway.
Killing me.
Okay, maybe we can decide we want to do it as a
Okay.
topic for the
I was
second-
gonna ask, does the level of income matter?
Oh, you
So-
should have asked this before the one.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But I can always just,
Yes, you
know what
can.
I'm saying.
Alia?
And be honest, there's no shame in it. Like, we want to hear the Ernesto de la Cruz.
But is it up until that level where it's as absolute as
And I can-
only finance?
And I can tell
Or
you
is it
why I
support?
asked this question, because recently a friend told me that he was listening to a podcast where they asked women what is the most appealing characteristic for when looking for a partner, and almost all of them said success. So when they
How
say
do you define
success,
success?
no, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
Success can mean different things to a lot of different people.
Mm.
But in this sense, it was all monetary. So that's why I'm
That's
asking
a
the
them
question.
problem.
Yeah.
I don't think like income or money and stuff like that should be the denominating factor in a relationship, or what someone should look for in a partner. Because but in all honesty, I would, like, if I was looking for a partner, I would want to live,
You consider his financial status.
I would want to live
Comfortably.
comfortably the way I am living now, or better. I mean, I don't
Okay.
want to go from a comfortable situation into a
Very challenging.
something that
Okay.
because that is not, personally, I would find that would be very challenging. And it's just not, I don't think that.
Yeah, that's a fair statement. Like I said, there's no shame in it, because obviously what I was saying is that
Yeah,
so it
always-
does matter.
But money doesn't define a person.
Right? No, because the thing is, because basically what you're telling me is that so it does matter in the sense that he can't be earning less than you.
It's
It's
not
not
even
about
about
earning
earning
less. Yeah.
It's more like, if I'm understanding what you're saying correctly, I don't want to come into your life and have to look after your basic needs.
Yeah.
No, but I don't think that's not exactly what I'm asking.
No, I get you, but I'm saying, like, from where she's coming from, like, from a challenging, like, if she's not comfortable moving into a challenging
Situation is going to be a difficult.
isn't necessarily because you're earning less. I mean, minimum wage in this country is pathetic anyway.
Yeah.
It's more a case of, can we, together with our income, pay our bills?
Yeah.
Sustain each other
Can
comfortably.
we?
No,
Yeah.
for sure.
You know what I
But like what I mean is, so say now if someone's earning his way and he's not earning as much as you, for example, so then that means the lifestyle that you living is gonna take a down. But that doesn't mean he can't look after himself.
Yeah.
He can't.
No, I won't look at that, because you've got your lifestyle that's based on your income, if you're only speaking monetary. Now he's bringing a bit extra, maybe that's like, it complements and it adds this. So it is a bit, but
Yeah.
I think the defining question is, if your partner earns less than you, is that an issue or deal breaker?
Yes.
No.
No,
Okay.
that's not a deal breaker.
Fair enough.
I've been in situations where I'm maybe earning like double what he's earning, and I've also been in situations where he's earning double what I'm earning. And as long as you don't try and judge or dictate what I do with my money,
Yeah.
there's no problems here.
Don't tell me. Yeah.
So I guess the next thing we'll move on to would be the responses from the
Awesome.
gram. Let's go. So FZ, I'm gonna let you take the stage right now.
Hi.
You have some surprises for us.
Surprise is a strong word. Basically, I put on my story yesterday. What's it like dating in Cape Town right now? And I got some interesting responses. I'm just gonna read the funniest ones. The very, very first one was don't. The second one was it's not
Don't. So
Don't.
straight up.
Just
No,
don't.
yeah,
Don't.
straight to the point.
very, very specific. I also got it's not a dating pool, it's a puddle. Then from another friend of mine, she said it's like eating soup with a fork.
Oh gosh. So now-
Another person just said cheating. That's all. That's all he came in with, cheating. Another friend of mine was just like, it's trash. And another guy said it's complicated, people want your CV.
Jeez.
And then this from the same chick, 2 different responses in all caps, run.
Yo.
And another one,
Wha-
absolute horror.
She was. So there were no positive responses.
From a girl that's married that lives in Kimberley, she said it's probably kaklika.
Okay, but she's staying
but
inland. This is-
she's
we're on the
not
coast,
a
we're-
part of this
we're on the
equation.
coast.
And then I also got it's the ghetto. And then I got it's kak. All the liquor boys are in relationships or busy effing around. Then I also got it's horrible, it's terrible. That's what the people of the Cape Town
Jeez.
want.
Alia, what about you?
Exactly.
That's heavy.
That's
Yo,
honest,
Alia,
raw
onto your
responses.
no wonder there's a wonder.
No, let's-
So I
yeah.
got an interesting question. Somebody asked about polygamy and what are our thoughts about that.
Oh.
So what did they say?
Always interesting listening to people's thoughts, especially from a Muslim woman's perspective.
So I'm assuming these people want to know what women's perspective are.
Almost like we're the
On polygamy.
polygamizers. Like
No, because most women are against it. Or rather, they
Are you
are.
against
They're
it?
not.
Yes.
you are.
But this is polygamy specifically in the context of Islam, right?
Yes, probs. And for that reason, I'm going to say that I'm not against it.
Mhm.
Firstly, because I can't be, because it's allowed in Islam.
Yeah.
Would I allow it in terms of like my husband having another wife? I'm not entirely sure. Having been married before, I think in that scenario where I knew the guy could potentially keep up 2 homes and 2 women,
Yeah.
I might have allowed it. Where I am right now, I don't think I would allow it because I want a lot more out of my partner. I want a lot more out of life and traveling with him and that
So-
kind of thing. So like, I'm not against it. Bismillah.
No,
do
but
what
it's
you
not
want.
for you. It's not for you.
But
Fair
I
enough.
don't.
Yeah.
I don't think it's for me. Like, if
Fair
you want
enough.
a second
Yeah.
wife, go
For
for
you.
it, buddy.
Take
What's
a
your
step.
thoughts?
Me.
Wait, Ale, what is your thoughts before?
I have to
She said
agree.
she
Yeah, I
doesn't.
have to agree with
Okay.
that.
Not about
Yeah.
it. For me, I don't think I could handle the emotional. What's the best way to describe it?
Trauma.
Probably. The emotional
Baggage.
weight of more than one woman.
Yeah,
Simple as that. What about you?
that's a wise stance to take. So
Right.
Give me 1 second.
So the honest answer, maaf, chas. So that's my honest answer. And yeah, you look religiously as a Muslim, like you're saying. we
not
have
against
to,
it.
We have to respect that
Yeah.
it's there and it's it constitutes and it's something in our faith and so on and so on. However, would I go about even thinking about the second wife? Because I'm not even thinking. I'm not speaking about looking
Yeah.
at the second. First, would I consider? Bruh, I'm not even married. I was married. I can't even hold on to one. Am I gonna hold on to 2?
I can't do it.
And further to that, no.
I can't do it.
I must. I'm serious. I must then consider sharing chips with 2 people.
Don't touch my chips.
2 people.
I
Yeah, I
think you
think
need
it's
to
time for
patent
you
that
to just
line, bro.
invest in more chips.
Chips.
Oh.
Two
Invest
bowls,
in
a
more plates.
separate dip.
That leads to diabetes. But no, I am not.
Mm.
I won't do it. I won't
Okay.
think about it.
Sorry, wait.
Unsubscribe.
Alia, next question.
Okay. Another question I got was how would you balance your work and love life? Like,
That is
It's a very good question, especially for people who work super long hours.
Yeah.
Because that can sometimes, like, you can neglect even your basic
Yeah.
mental well-being because you need to.
Let alone another person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of.
I can very seriously say I'm just gonna take the first swing on that one because if I have to like all the recurring like comments that I've gotten like in arguments or like maybe we're sitting down, we're having discussion like if I'm not happy with X, Y and Z, it's always been my time. Not just in relationships but like with my family, with my friends. I struggle because I love what I do so much and it's not a typical 9 to 5 buzz. I'm often working like at like 9, 10 p.m. Sometimes I can be working at 11 p.m. Like I can give you like I will literally schedule someone in being like from 11 until like 12 we can maybe like have a phone call.
Ooh.
Like a video call. And it's
Ooh,
terrible.
You're gonna slot. Okay.
So that's what I get that
opinion
from
on that.
guys. I get that from guys where they're like, I feel like you're slotting me into your life. I feel like I'm a part of your schedule and you don't have time for me. And I have to then sit back and reevaluate and be like, shit, like what am I doing? Or how can I make that person feel like, look, I do appreciate you and the time that you give me, etc., etc. This is my livelihood. Like at the end of the day, like if you're a person supporting yourself, it's like this is my livelihood and this is my person and like they just not.
Can I say
connecting.
something? So maybe, and I understand that you have this passion and you focused so much on building what you want to build. If you're in a relationship, I would suggest more like instead of slotting them in to a certain time limit, let's take Saturday.
Yeah.
We're not working Saturday.
Yes.
Both of us are not
Yeah.
working Saturday. Let's just do whatever.
Look, I can be very present,
Uh-huh.
like when I want to be. And I think that is also something that frustrates the next person in my specific scenario now. Because they can see like what I give time to and how much of it I give.
Yeah.
And then that makes them feel like frustrated because like, oh bitch, like, you can give me that time also, like I see you. So it more like comes down to me putting down my phone, putting down my laptop and just being completely 100% present in that moment, which is something that I used to struggle to do. It's not something I struggle to do anymore. However, like I said, I'm not in a relationship currently, so it's not like being tested.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I just know that it's something that I've been working on.
Okay. That's fair. At least you can acknowledge it. So it's.
No, it's.
I mean, that's the first
shame.
step to recovery, you know. Iggy?
What was the question now again?
The question.
Balancing your time.
Yeah,
and
balancing.
your
Yeah.
life.
Balancing work and relationship.
I think
Yeah.
I think it's a fine balance between the two individuals, or more. Because look, right now coming back to polygamy, there's also polyamory. So
See.
that's another topic. The idea of I think finding a balance, I think comes down to communication. You know, understanding each other's ways, schedules.
Yeah.
You know how you operate. And that means, for me, understanding the person's quirks. So, for example, knowing that my partner is going to finish at 5, for example, but he's probably going to stop over at something that's at his mom's to grab something.
Yeah.
You know, so it's something like that. So I think finding that understanding through communication, I think that's probably the way to manage it.
Yeah.
And I think it's subjective to each scenario.
Communication is really one of those like all access keys.
Yeah.
And I think that once you master that, then dating in general, relationships with everyone in your life, actually, your parents, your kid, your siblings, like it becomes much easier because you take on like a listening role and also a very empathetic role.
Yeah.
And once you reach like a certain level of emotional intelligence on that spectrum, you just realize like I need to be the best version of me and not necessarily try and hold them accountable all the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can mention it like, I do this, I would like for you to do that. But then again, it's like I said, communication.
So give and take. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea of a relationship is essentially what it's two individuals historically.
Battery.
Your battery.
Is like, yeah. So now.
So you stopped?
No, I can stop it now.
You can stop it, yeah. Because we
Okay.
don't want to lose all that